2026. Oh boy, I hope this is our year, because let me tell you, 2025 was rough for movies. Not saying that nothing good came out, but my gosh, like all the big releases, the things we were looking forward to all year, they were just so disappointing. Disappointing. But you know what? I have hope. I have hope that this year, the year of our Lord, 2026, will be better. Because I will say, this year, there is quite a bit of movies I'm looking forward to. For those of you who don't know, one of the reasons why last year was so rough is because, quite frankly, there just wasn't as many movies coming out. All right, because last year were a lot of movies that were held back from 2024, pushed to 2025, because in 2024 was the writer's strike, where just quite simply production stopped for 6 months. They just weren't making movies because of the writing strike. And so because of that, there was a huge lack of actual movies being made. So they really had to space things out. And that's why you also saw a lot of like streaming movies coming to theaters for some reason. But like, which, I mean, it's not for some reason, we know why. But you know what? I have faith, because this year, please God, please, I love you so much. Please, I have hope, because there are some good movies coming out this year. And so today, the year of our Lord 2026, I'm going to be talking about the top 10 most anticipated movies of this year for me. Now, after this list, please leave your most anticipated movies down below, and let's get to the video. So first off, number 10, Masters of the Universe. I will say I'm not the biggest He-Man fan by any means, but everything I hear about He-Man seems so cool to me. It's literally about a dude who touches a magic sword, gets extremely buff, and then goes on a quest and becomes a king in another world where there's like fantasy and sci-fi and all this crazy stuff, like cool characters, cool monsters. And also, here's how you know that all the characters are so cool and unique, because before the show even came out in like the 80s or whatever, it was one of those shows where like the show was built around a cool toy line they came up with, and then the lore of the toys was the show. So the toys came first, and then the show was made along with it, right? But it's literally this dude has a giant sword and does all this cool stuff and goes, "I have the power!" And then he just does cool stuff. All right, I will say, dude, this has like, I think this could have like a huge franchise potential, like Lord of the Rings style stuff, you know what I mean? Just, I want to see epic battles. I want to see cool characters doing cool stuff with a good, solid story, all right? We need new franchises that are going to come in and give us some fresh blood nowadays, because quite frankly, I don't know how much I can take just sequel, requel, remake, live action remake of an animated movie that's objectively worse than the original, because the animated movie had more character and more beauty and more art to it, all right? Give me something new. Masters of the Universe, yes, you are a franchise, but you are a franchise that's being built on little to nothing in terms of live-action adaptations. The only thing we've gotten was, like, the 1980s movie with that freaking one bodybuilder, the dude who played Ivan Drago in the Rocky movies. I'm blanking on his name right now because I'm in rant mode. I'm locked in. But you get the gist. Number 9, GOAT. This is the movie's actually coming out pretty soon. It's time of me recording this, because GOAT is literally, he's like, I literally saw like part of the poster for GOAT, and I'm like, haha, you're so clever. A GOAT, the greatest of all time, you know, the acronym. A GOAT who plays basketball. He's the GOAT. Oh, you're so clever, freaking Sony Pictures. And then I saw the trailer, and I ate my words so fast, because this movie looks like so much fun. Okay, this is giving like this. Oh my gosh, the GOAT is, or just GOAT. It's giving like this generation Space Jam, but like with a solid story. Because let's face it, Space Jam is fun because it's like a product of its time. It's like Michael Jordan like balling with the Looney Tunes, and it's fun. And then Looney Tunes New Legacy came out, and then we're like, oof, this was rough. But GOAT looks like it actually has a solid story. And let me tell you, Sony Animation is bringing their A-game, baby. We've gotten the Spider-Verse movies. We got K-pop Demon Hunters, which is an absolute bop. Okay? What a movie that came out of nowhere, dude. It's in that same kind of like cool moving comic style animation. It's got the actor who plays Lucas in Stranger Things voicing the main character. And I'm not gonna lie, really happy some of the Stranger Things cast is getting some like roles after Stranger Things, because I know it can be really hard to get like new roles when you get typecast in a certain kind of TV show or movie series for like a long period. And I know that's a struggle for a lot of actors, so I'm really happy he's getting work. But the story looks solid, animation looks beautiful, character design looks fun, and also, here's the thing, I'm not a huge sports fan. I'm not a sports fan at all. I'm not gonna lie. I know the most famous athletes like, Messi and Ronaldo, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, I'm blanking right now, but the freaking, oh my gosh, what's his name? The football player for the Patriots. I'm gonna get so much hate in the comments from probably sports fans. I know his name. I'm just can't think of it right now because I'm in rant mode. Okay, I know the sports guys. All right, I'm no means a sports fan, but okay. The thing that's cool about animation and things like that is you can take the coolness and epicness that does apply to sports for the freaking raw athleticism that these people are able to achieve, for all these incredible feats that people are able to do to play these incredible sports, brought to a new level by animation by making everything more extreme, more cool, more dynamic, more extreme. I mean, like in the movie trailer, you literally see like instead of just a typical basketball ring, there's like environments because all the characters are animals doing all this crazy stuff in order to go hooping, and it just looks like so much fun. It's coming out in February. I'm excited. Next up, Spider-Man Brand New Day. I will say, look, objectively, I don't think the newest Spider-Man movies have been the greatest of all the Spider-Man movies that have been made. I think the best one by far is the last one that came out, which was Spider-Man No Way Home. But let's face it, the thing that made that movie so good was seeing all the best villains that already got used outside of Tom Holland's trilogy, and then seeing Tom Holland be the great Spider-Man he is, right? Just, some of the movies are not always up to par with some of the other movies I feel like I've seen from the Spider-Man, like Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. But seeing all those cool villains come in and then seeing Tobey and Andrew. Dude, the crowd went crazy. I was there. It was awesome. But Spider-Man Brand New Day, I will say, here's my worry. I don't want Spider-Man Brand New Day to be settled with the problems of the previous movies, and that's over-reliance on, like, Tony Stark, to the point where he's kind of become, like, Iron Man boy, kind of in a way. I want Spider-Man being Spider-Man, swinging through New York City, being the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, doing Spider-Man things, right? But the thing that's really selling me in this movie is, number one, we're going to see villains that we typically have not, number one, we're going to see villains we haven't really seen, but also villains that haven't been adapted well. So number one, it's confirmed we're getting a Matt Gorgon Scorpion. Let's go! Okay? And one of my favorite villains of all time who gets almost no love, who's not been adapted properly once, which pisses me off beyond belief, and it's Rhino, baby. Rhino, the GOAT, the unstoppable force, king of the savannah, coming in, crashing through the city, Spider-Man trying to stop him. It's going to be a good time. Plus, apparently, the Punisher is in this movie for some reason. And also, Sadie Sink from Stranger Things is playing, like, a version of Jean Grey, I think, maybe, because they're teasing that the X-Men are coming in with Avengers Doomsday, which we'll talk about later. And then, apparently, the Hulk is also in this. There's so much happening, and I don't know if it's going to be good, but I have my fingers crossed, because I really want Marvel to come back, because Marvel, with the exception of, like, Guardians 3, the Spider-Man movies, and then Deadpool and Wolverine have been, for the most part, mid to trash. Okay? Like, okay, Fantastic Four and Thunderbolts were fun, mid, kind of, but they weren't like, okay, this is not the Marvel exceptionalism I got used to with Marvel in their heyday, like pre-Endgame, okay? When Marvel was making nothing but absolute game-changing, blockbusting bops! Oh my gosh, I need Marvel to be good again so bad. Guardians 3 was so good because it was a continuation of a story that James Gunn more or less had planned out, and it was like a holdback from that era, okay? Because really, in terms of the timeline, the only reason, you could have easily said it before Endgame, and just, but But they just have like the only difference I think maybe that they have to change is basically saying that like the version of Gamora that's in that movie is just the original. It doesn't have like the mind wiped alternate version of Gamora. That's really it. And then just add a little bit of that romance in. But we got it post Endgame, and so that's that. Spider-Man, already talked about Spider-Man No Way Home. It was a bop. You had to be there. It was making the billions. It was making the millies. What? So much fun, okay? But then Deadpool and Wolverine, whew! Deadpool and Wolverine was so good, but here's the thing. It was so good because Kevin Feige had little to no involvement in it, okay? Because they weren't shoving modern politics in the film. They weren't freaking, like, ruining legacy characters. Deadpool and Wolverine was a love letter to the Fox movies. It was a love letter to the X-Men. It was a love letter to Wolverine and Deadpool. And here's the thing. Also, Ryan Reynolds had so much creative control in that movie that it was allowed to be Deadpool because Disney was being like, you can't swear, you can't curse, you can't freaking have drug jokes, you can't have all this fun. Which is probably one of the reasons why they got away with making some of the jokes about Kevin Feige and like you can't use the word cocaine in the movie. If you saw Deadpool and Wolverine, if it's been a while for you, they make a lot of cocaine jokes, especially in like the first like 20 minutes, and be like, no, Kevin Feige said we can't use it. And he's like, what about Bolivian marching powder? No. White Girl Interrupted? No. What about Forrest Bump? No. And he's like, do you want to build a snowman? Yes, but I can't. So much fun, okay? Because Ryan Reynolds had creative control, and then of course we got to see Hugh Jackman, the GOAT, in the yellow and blue suit, the Wolverine with the mask. Woo! So peak. So good. I need more of it. I like it. I want it. I want some more of it. Okay? Oh. So please, Marvel, be good again. Spider-Man Brand New Day, I'm placing my hope in you. Do not let me down. Please, for the love of God. Next. Scary Movie 6. Whew. We don't get good comedy movies anymore, and I'm so sick of it because everyone's afraid to make jokes because everyone's afraid of offending everyone. But the Wayans brothers are coming back for, I think, like, for the first time since, like, the first 2 or 3, because it got, like, kicked out of their own franchise. Because, Hollywood's a freaking dong measuring contest, they're always like, they want to have creative control, and in doing so, they always kick out all the people who are funny and have the talent, and they're actually make the series good, and then they're like, why aren't our movies making money? Shut up, Hollywood executive. Listen to the fun people, the creative people, not your freaking dumb bean counters, okay? But the Wayne bros are back! They're back, baby! Let me tell you, I already know they're gonna make fun of so much, like, elevated horror crap. They're gonna make fun of all the cringy requels and, like, the terrible freaking I Know What You Did Last Summer sequel movie that came out this year. Well, not this year, 2025, because as I'm filming this is 2026. And it's so garbage! So garbage! It pissed me off so much. If you know, you know. The killer in that movie would never do what he did based on everything we know from past films. It's so dumb. It's so bad. Pisses me off. I'm actually a very happy person. I'm just very passionate about movies. And also, this helps me get hyped up to film this because, quite frankly, I'm new to YouTube and it makes me nervous and I'm very autistic. But Scary Movie 6, please make comedy movies back again. Wayne Bros, I need you to crush this. I'm so excited. Give it to me, please, bro. Woo! Next, speaking of scary movies, one of my favorite horror series of all time, Scream is coming back, baby. It's a Scream, baby. Scream 7, dude. If you know, dude, Scream 7. I love Scream so much. Scream is a horror series that got me into horror movies. Dude, and I know it might not happen. I know they're teasing it. They're teasing. Here's the thing. If you've seen the Scream movies, especially the first one, which is an absolute classic, the main characters in the first Scream movie are Billy and Stu. Billy gets shot in the head by the end of the first one. Stu gets like a TV dropped on him, you know what I mean? And we like see like it electrocute him and he goes like, oh. And it's like, it's hinted he dies, right? But you don't really, like, see him die. You don't know. You don't get confirmation he's dead to the point where it's one of the biggest fan theories for years. For years. that he's still alive and he's been planning things throughout, like, you know, the background, which is one of the reasons why all these people keep becoming Ghostface and going on these killing rampages, you know, and I mean, which is given even more, like, fire or flame, gasoline on the fire, you know what I mean, and when to speak, because Scream 3, the movie that we got, wasn't originally supposed to be like that. It was originally supposed to be Stu actually coming back and having orchestrated things from behind the scenes originally, but then, like, they really wanted to tone down certain things with, like, violence in regard to, like, how big they were going to go with that kind of storyline, because at the time, the Columbine shooting happened back in the day when they were filming. And so then the studio execs were like, we have to, like, completely rework this. Which, if I'm being honest, like, I don't really get that. That makes no sense to me. All horror movies are going to be violent for the most part, so it doesn't make sure just to tone down this one movie because of the Columbine shooting. Not that I don't have sympathy, obviously, the Columbine shooting was so tragic. School shootings are still a huge problem today. We really need to solve that problem. But, you know, I don't see why they had to do that. But one of the things that was heavily teased in that was originally part of the script was the cult of Ghostface. I really hope this comes to fruition. I don't know if it'll happen in this movie 7, but from what I understand, they're planning like a new trilogy with Sidney finally coming back after the whole Jenna Ortega, Melissa Barrera are no longer going to be in the series, even though they're still having some characters from 5 and 6 where they brought these new characters in. 4, 7 to have some kind of connectivity for old fans. I like all of them. Some are better than others, obviously. In my opinion, Scream 3 is the worst. Well, no. Yeah, Scream 3 might be the worst one. I love them all, though. I don't think any of them are bad. I enjoy them all. I binge them. I usually have a yearly binge of the Scream movies, but Scream 7, please, all I need. Just at least tell me Stu's alive. I need Stu back. He's so fun. He's insane. He's like, oh no, I'll be right back. Oh! Dude, just give me Stu. Before I die, I need Stu to come back. That's all I want, okay? Number 5, baby. The Legend of Aang. Whew! I'm new to YouTube, so I know y'all don't know this, except for people who know me in my personal life who will see this video somehow, some way. I'm a massive Avatar: The Last Airbender fan. It is, in my opinion, it is one of the greatest TV series ever made, period. Everything from music, world building, character design, humor, story arcs, freaking one of the greatest villain redemption arcs in history of fiction with Zuko. Dude, it is a masterpiece through and through. The martial arts is beautiful. Everything. It's perfection. And if you've ever seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, you cannot tell me that everyone wanted Iroh to be their like their dad. Dude, everyone needs a dad like Iroh, bro. Iroh is the GOAT. The GOAT! Dude, they sell like these freaking like stickers on Amazon, not sponsored, where like it's like the Jasmine Dragon, his tea shop. I want one, bro. I want to put it on like my fridge or like my water container. Dude, be like, yeah, that's right. Jasmine Dragon tea. Freaking, sorry, some juice. With a crap ton of taurine. For some energy for my noggin. Because it's like 10 o'clock when I'm filming this right now. Dude, The Legend of Aang, it's supposed to be like the OG cast for the most part, coming back in their early 20s. And I don't know exactly what the plot's going to be. From what I've heard and have teased, I think it's either going to be about either Azula trying to like do some of the things she's done in some of the spin-off comics, which I don't know if are exactly canon, either versing her or us finally understanding or like getting some more like info in terms of like on the screen, because I think there's some books about it, about Zuko's mom and if she's alive and what happened with that. Because for those of you who don't know, Zuko, one of the main protagonists of like the first season, then eventually kind of has this huge redemption arc, which is so good. He comes in and eventually you learn like that essentially like the only reason Zuko was alive because his mother essentially had to leave because his father, the Fire Lord, insulted his father, who was the Fire Lord at the time. Basically said like he suggested you should make me king instead of my older brother who lost a son or whatever. And then the Fire Lord above the Fire Lord who's Zuko's dad is basically like, you know, you don't know the pain of losing a child, unlike Iroh, who's supposed to be the Fire Lord. So you need to sacrifice your own child in order to feel that pain to redeem yourself. Essentially, so like I won't kill you because you created so much disrespect for Iroh, who is the GOAT. Although at the time, he was committing a lot of war crimes. But he learned. He has his redemption. He's such a good character. And so Zuko's mom essentially agrees, like, you know what? Instead of eliminating our child, I will leave. You will never see me again. The punishment can be losing someone close to you, just not the child. So she leaves, and there's all this kind of stuff either we don't know that's hinted at, that she essentially has this entire life away from Fire Lord, who's evil. And I want to know what happens in this movie. But I will say I'm kind of pissed, because from what I've heard, Paramount, with this dumb Netflix merger that's happening, is not putting it in theaters anymore. Are you stupid? Are you allergic to money? Put it in theaters, bro. Give it to me, dude. I will pay money. Put it in theaters. Oh, sorry, I love Avatar. All right. Number 4, Project Hail Mary. Okay, I love sci-fi, I will say. And I'm not like the world's biggest Ryan Gosling fan who's going to play the main protagonist in this movie. But let me tell you, dude, I heard nothing but good things about the book this movie's based on. And for those of you who don't know, Project Hail Mary is basically like about some dude who is an astrophysicist or something, is recruited to basically be like, hey, we need you to go to space because all the stars in like the surrounding like universe of our area, or like our solar system, or not just our solar system because we only have one sun, but like stars are dying, and then if stars die, planets die, and we won't survive. So we need you to go to space to figure out why the stars are dying so we can all live. Because it's such a long shot, it's called, the Project Hail Mary, full of grace. And so he goes out, and he's essentially trying to survive in space and find out why these stars are dying. And then he essentially like makes his friends with a rock alien who's like an ambassador from his civilization, who's also trying to figure out why the stars are dying. And so they have to work together to figure out why the stars are dying so like they can save their races. I'm in. You have my attention. And for those of you who don't know, the book is by the same author who did The Martian, which they made a movie of The Martian with I'm blanking right now. The dude who plays Jason Bourne. Because I'm ranting. I'm locked into this and not the actors, but you feel me. It has good potential. We need blockbusters in theaters because the tent poles are going to prop up everything else. Or rising tides lift all ships, you know what I mean? We need the big movies to succeed so we can get the little movies to succeed. Because the box office and the movie theaters are not doing well right now. I need good movies and I need them to succeed. I need people to go out and see them. So go see them. Next, Avengers Doomsday. Avengers Doomsday, like I've said, here's the thing. Marvel has been on such a steep decline. It's been like watching the cinematic fall of the Roman Empire. Okay? Marvel has fallen so far from grace in terms of quality storytelling and with the fans and with even casuals like the grifters. Dude, I think Marvel finally understands this. That Avengers Doomsday is not only a good movie, it's not a great movie, it needs to be amazing, incredible movie. This needs to be the greatest movie, Marvel movie. This movie needs to be so good, it can somehow redeem and give hope for all Marvel fans to come back from all the crap we've endured for like the past 5-6 years of not being listened to, of being directly insulted, of having all of our heroes either ruined, retired, or replaced with these cheap knockoffs no one wants, of all the politics being in freaking cringy crap being shoved in all of our beloved heroes movies, of all our heroes being dissected beyond belief to the where they're barely recognizable, or the hero concept itself being just stripped apart for bones and parts. Just if Avengers Doomsday can do what I know Marvel can do, but then also somehow fix the crap, the crappily convoluted timeline of all the crap they've created, if they can manage to pull it off, it can be one of the greatest cinematic revivals in history. But Marvel knows this cannot be a good movie. It can't even be an amazing movie. It needs to be a mind-blowing movie in order to bring this back. In order to do this, Marvel, if you can make it good, I don't care how long it takes. It can be 4.5 hours. If it's good and it fixes it, I'll see it. Just have an intermission. I don't care. Make it good. Please. Lord, please. I need Marvel to be good again. Please. Ugh. Number 2. Dune Messiah. Ooh, let me tell you, look. I wasn't sold on Dune. I saw part 1 on like HBO Max when it came out in like 2021 or 22. Or was it 23? No, 2022 maybe. It was during like that weird COVID era where they were like co-releasing things in theaters and on streaming services. You know what I mean? And so it was that weird era. It didn't make nearly as much money as it probably should have because of that and that weird era. But then, dude, I really, it took me a few watches to really appreciate it, because for those of you who don't know, Dune Part 1 and Part 2 are literally like adaptations of the entire Dune book, just split into 2 parts, because in order to do it properly, you need more time. And so each movie is like, I think 2.5 hours. In which, you know what, sometimes if it's worth it to tell the story properly, make the movies longer. If you're gonna give me a better story, make it longer. I don't care, okay? More good content for me. Oh no, what am I gonna do with all these good things to watch? Oh no, it's terrible. Just make it longer if you have to, all right? Part 2 sold me though. Whew, dude, I didn't think Timothée Chalamet was gonna be able to pull off the freaking insane turn into like the freaking Lisan al-Gaib, you know, like the Messiah figure. You know, I don't know how he's gonna be able to do it. And then I saw that speech of like all the Fremen being underground, bro, and him being like freaking, and him basically being like, "You think I could be the one your ancestors have been praying for thousands of years? The Lisan al-Gaib, Lisan al-Gaib, dude, chills, dude, aura beyond belief, bro. That scene was so good. Oh my gosh, bro, dude, if Dune 3." Dune Messiah or Dune Part 3. I don't know if they're... I think they might be leaning to Dune Part 3 instead of just Dune Messiah. Instead of just like... Because you think Dune Messiah is the title of the book, but I think Dune Part 3 might track well in terms of like marketing. So they probably are going to go with Dune 3. But either one, bro, whatever it's going to be called, Dune 3, Part 3, Dune Messiah. I'm excited because we're basically seeing like him being like fully the dictator, like with the entire like intergalactic Fremen jihad having been completed. But I do hope actually, because a lot of it is political in terms of like the second book, third movie with Dune Messiah. It's a lot of politics, it's a lot of like world building in terms of like the final form of like Paul Atreides and what he's become, and like his lineage, and like the weird political marriage and stuff with Princess, like I think it's Arula, and then with Zendaya's character, the Fremen girl, who I will say is different in the books than in like the movies, because I thought, is it just me? Zendaya just kind of played an angry chick the entire movie for Part 2. Is it just, I don't know. Just me, maybe, I don't know, maybe criticism, but that's probably like, that was director's notes, not Zendaya. Zendaya's actually quite a good actress. Good on you, Tom Holland. I see you, big dog. Good on you, dude. But Dune 3, bro, I want to see like part of the jihad. I want to see some of the cool warfare, dude. I want to see some crazy stuff, dude. As well as some of the politics. Some people think politics is boring. Dude, good political thrillers can be so good if they're written properly. You just need competent writers. And you have the blueprint with the book by Herbert, oh my gosh, freaking Herbert whatever. I forgot his name right now. Herbert West or whatever. The person who wrote the Dune books. I'm blanking right now because I'm locked into this. All right? But dude, Frank Herbert. I knew it. I knew I could come up with it. Ugh. Frank Herbert, bro. And he wrote Dune Messiah originally to essentially be like a lot of people in the like for after reading the original Dune still think of like Paul Atreides as like this goated protagonist, which he still kind of does in the first movies because he's a really cool dude. He's pretty awesome. But essentially, like, one of the big themes that Frank Herbert wanted to do is basically being like, no, this is like a false messiah character, and like someone who's using like religious politics to gain power. You need to be aware of these kind of people and like fear them. But apparently a lot of people after reading the first book didn't get the message, so he wrote Dune Messiah as like a much shorter novel in like rightly after, because a lot of people were like not getting the message, so to speak, to make his message very clear that like, no, Paul was like a corrupt, false messianic dictator figure. Don't get it twisted, brothers. And so so I'm excited to see them explore that in Dune Part 3 or Messiah, whichever one they go with. Doesn't matter to me. I'm excited. That's number 2. Number 1, bro. Woo! Most anticipated movie of the year from the GOAT Christopher Nolan. The Odyssey! Woo! Oh boy, we're cooking! Let's go! Woo! Yeah, that's right, baby. That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo! Dude, Christopher Nolan is one of the greatest directors currently working in Hollywood. I trust him. A lot of people are already having problems with it because they're thinking like some of the armor looks dumb. Look, I know it's not period accurate, but it's tough, bro. The TUFF. Tough, not like tough as in like, oh, this is like physically a tough thing. Like tough as in like that bro looks cool, dude. Bro looks tough, bro. Dude, I think it's like Agamemnon who has the armor on. But anyway, for those of you who don't know, the Odyssey is essentially the story of King Odysseus after the Trojan War, which I'm sure they're going to show a bit of the Trojan War, you know. For those of you who have heard of the Trojan horse, that saying, that comes from the Iliad, which is about the Trojan War, right? And the Trojan horse essentially was like all these the soldiers of Odysseus and all the soldiers on the kingdoms on his side going against Troy went to this horse, which is like the sigil or like the emblem for Troy, the horse. It was seen as a gift of like ultimate surrender. Be like, we surrender, you won, you are superior. Here is a statue of your emblem to honor you in your victory, because we don't want no more smoke. And of course, Odysseus and his soldiers hide in the horse, take the city from the inside, and they win the Trojan War. And then Paris freaking shoots Achilles, the goat, like a little freaking wiener. Weenie Hut Jr.'s in the ankle. When he went to face, I think it was Agamemnon, he freaking wussed out. He's like, oh no, I'm scared to die, bro. You said you'd be willing to die for Helen. Go and do it. You stole this man's wife. Go out with some balls, bro. Okay? But the Odyssey is Odysseus trying to get back home to his wife in Ithaca, because he's the king of Ithaca, and him going on this giant quest with his men, going against, like, the powers of, like, Olympus, freaking monsters and all this natural disasters, like, going against monsters like Charybdis, the freaking Scylla, the Sirens, the Cyclops, being stuck on an island, essentially being forced as like a sex slave to like a goddess who's like in love with him. Which, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, bro. It's not the worst existence. Death by Snoo Snoo. If you know Futurama, you know that reference. Death by Snoo Snoo. Yeah! But of course, he's not happy about this because he loves his wife, which is actually extremely admirable. And he literally goes to the shore like every night to like cry and weep because he wants to get back to his wife in this part of the story. And it's him going through this, what should have been like a 2-week journey to get back to Ithaca, taking 10 years because of like Poseidon has it out against him and all this crazy stuff happening. So, bro, if Christopher Nolan does what I know Christopher Nolan can do, bro, we are in for a cinematic masterpiece, the magnitude of which we have rarely seen. Dude, I am so freaking hyped. I am so excited. Bro, easily, I'm telling you, this movie's going to make $1 billion. Easy. Easy money, bro. If not like $2 billion. So hyped. Dude, so to recap, this is my top 10 most anticipated movies of the year. Number 10, Masters of the Universe. Number 9, GOAT. Number 8, Spider-Man Brand New Day. Number 7, Scary Movie 6. Number 6, Scary Movie 7. Kind of a weird thing, the 6 and the 7 title of the movies switch around a little bit. Number 5, The Legend of Aang. Avatar: The Last Airbender is GOATed. Oh, sorry. Very excited. Number 4, Project Hail Mary. Number 3, Avengers Doomsday. Please be good. Number 2, Dune Messiah. And number 1, The Odyssey. Woo! Dude, and that is my top 10 most anticipated movies of 2026. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell for more videos. I'm trying to put out at least one new, good, solid video every week. So come on down, have fun, God bless. You'll have a good one.